Hey, welcome back to another episode of Real Men Unscripted. I'm Derek.
I'm Domingo. Welcome back. Hope you had a good week.
And you can see that we have someone in the middle again. What did Pastor Gene call it? The sandwich of D&D?
Yeah, the D&D sandwich.
The D&D
like
sandwich. That. So
and why I got to use that
now.
Why are they all taller than us?
Yeah.
When do you start getting short people?
I know. I will. So anyhow, our guest today is Chad. We're going to have him introduce himself. But he's a friend of ours from Hope Church. And so take it away, Chad.
Yeah, my name's Chad Uhl, and these guys hit me up, and we actually have an event coming up and some other things, and I was like, hey, I'm in. Let's talk about it. So, yeah, I mean, we'll get into, like, the event and everything, I think the second episode you said. So just a little bit about me. I'm a web developer, and I've been going to Hope Church now for 5 years and really involved in the men's community and all those kind of services. And really, it changed my life, honestly. I've never been more a part of a community like this, I think, since high school. It really feels like just a really tight-knit community. And so, like, I feel blessed. My family feels blessed. And I just feel so many people are missing out on what Hope can really offer. And just, I think church and community in general, people kind of get, there's different things out there that people focus on more than the benefits, I would say.
So have you seen the new movie, The Forge? Just
No.
because that's community.
I haven't.
We took some guy, you have to go see The Forge.
Okay.
Do you know who the Kendrick brothers are? They did Facing the Giants, Courageous, Fireproof. They're all Christian movies.
Okay.
See, he's not.
Yeah.
He's
I'm not
Christian.
too into it like
He's
that.
not a TV guy. Just leave him alone.
I'm just messing with him.
You know what? I am terrible with actors and all those kind of stuff.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, The Forge right now, Tammy and I are offering to watch little kids, and if you want to take, especially if you have boys that are teenagers, you have to take them along with your wife. It's called The Forge. It's playing at South Point. I'm sure it's playing everywhere, but it is an amazing. Well, what do you think? What did you think?
I thought it was an amazing movie.
Him and I were crying next to each other.
Oh my gosh.
I was.
Yeah.
One of those kind of movies. Tearjerkers,
It is.
huh?
It is.
Yes.
Because it's about raising up people
Don't give them the story.
to be men. Well,
Yeah.
whatever. Anyhow, go see The Forge.
I mean, that's funny, though, because I was just talking to my daughter the other day, and I'm like, I don't even remember the last time I went to the movies. And I live right behind a movie theater that was shut down during COVID. They're revamping it, but we don't think it's going to be a movie theater anymore. We think it might be a business center. So,
Is that the one on
Pebble and Eastern.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're trying to
They're
get into.
remodeling the front.
It
of
was
it,
a Regal too. So.
It was a Regal. I need to go ask the local businesses over there because it's literally right behind my house. So I need to
Well,
find
anyhow,
out.
you need to go see that movie is all I got to say.
Well, yeah, I was like, we need to have a date night. The reason we were talking about that is we need to have a date night and go see a movie. I think the last time we did that was before COVID, or we might have done it once during, but.
Well, anyhow, take your
He's a
men's
good
group,
babysitter.
whatever, and go. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can handle a 2.5-year-old?
My wife's the
He
baby
handled
whisperer.
a newborn.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we watched Jerry's.
Well, we're about to have a newborn. My wife's 28 weeks pregnant, so
My wife's been doing that for 25 years.
Oh, that's
Okay.
right. She's a caretaker. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So anyhow, sorry, didn't mean. I know you had your
Oh,
script
no.
there, but
I planned for this kind of thing. I'm unscripted type.
yeah, this
You know
time
what
we
I'm
didn't
saying?
do questions.
Yeah.
Pastors, I felt like they probably would want some questions in case there was something that they didn't want me to ask them.
He
So
still hasn't finished though. How many kids?
yeah, but
how
for
many
him, I didn't
married?
do questions is what I was getting at.
Oh yeah, all the typical stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm married. Me and my wife started a blended family. We have a daughter who's about to turn 20 in a couple days, a 14-year-old who just started high school, and a 2.5-year-old, and we'll have our fourth in middle of November. So
Is
it'll be
the
at Thanksgiving.
14-year-old a girl too?
Congratulations.
Yes. So
All
all
girls.
girls. The new one coming right now is a boy. So
For sure, you guys already found out.
yes.
Yeah, welcome to the boy
Yep.
club, baby. I only have boys, so
Oh, okay.
he's got
I
it.
have a boy sandwich. Boy, girl in the middle.
Well, that's funny. I'm the oldest of 3 boys and 1 girl. So
is it going to be Chad Jr. or
no?
CJ?
We're
CJ Chad Jr.
We're leaning towards a couple other names on the list, and we've told everybody. So we're leaning towards like Colton or Luke. My wife really likes Dean, but meh.
Dean. Okay.
Dean from that actor. Oh,
Yeah.
but you don't watch movies.
Dean Cain.
No, the other
No.
one.
Yeah, I like Colton.
Yeah,
With a
Colton's
C
good
or
movie.
a K? Because now they do it with a K.
Oh, they do.
Yeah.
I've just thought of C. So
And Luke's good after the Bible.
yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and what was the famous actor's name? No, Dean.
Luke Perry or Dean?
Dean.
Yeah, the one
James
that-
Dean.
James Dean.
James Dean.
So yeah, the funny thing about that is I used to play in high school. I played baseball, and one son was named James. The second son was named Dean.
Oh man, they
Really?
love.
I didn't put 2 and 2 together until after high school. I was like James Dean. Oh, okay.
Did you play in high school?
Yeah.
Where?
Cheyenne.
Cheyenne, nice.
Yeah.
He played also. He coached his kids too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, my senior year was like 2002. So
Wow.
I was just
Makes me
getting out of the
feel old.
army. I know. I was just getting out. I was just done with the
I
army.
graduated in 1990. That was my final year of baseball too.
oh, okay.
That's
Where'd
a
you play at?
long time. Hunter Park High School.
Okay.
Way out in Southern California.
Hmm.
Population 8 million. What's the population over there?
Well, where I played baseball was a couple 100,000. Okay?
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Where
yeah.
was that?
Sonoma County, Santa Rosa.
Santa Rosa. That the town of Santa Rosa. Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
big town. Yeah.
Yeah, he keeps thinking I'm coming from a little podunk place or something.
Because that's how you described it. So I gotta keep going with it.
I feel like 20 years ago everything was podunk because even when I was in high school we were at like 500,000 in Vegas. So
That is true.
it's
Yeah, because we
crazy.
moved here in 90. My son was born 95, so 95, 96. And a lot of these major roads weren't even here, like St. Rose.
I moved
wasn't
here in '97.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know exactly what you're talking
And
about.
then we used to shoot right off of Nellis and Lake Mead, way over there on the northeast. Now you can't even do that. You gotta keep going.
Far.
Yeah.
Because they used to have somewhere out by like Mount Charleston they used to have, and they closed that down too.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah. Good times though. I loved it when there was less people.
All right. So you were gonna, we talked, off camera. You were gonna tell us about this financial thingy that I don't want to let you speak, but that totally like helped you and your family.
Mm-hmm.
And so, why don't you tell us about that?
yeah, so Financial Peace University is what it's called. It's put on by Dave Ramsey. So everybody knows it by like the Dave Ramsey method or whatever you want to. But basically, it's a 10-week course, and they go really in depth into your finances. So for me, and for a lot of people I know, that's uncomfortable. You know, it's uncomfortable to know because we know something's not right with our finances, right? So it's like we don't want people to nose around in it. Now, the good thing about it is I thought that they would, but they really leave it up to you. So it's just you getting a better look at your numbers and then you doing the process that they tell you to do. So they're like, they call it baby steps. So they go baby steps 1 through 7. And they start out baby step 1, and when you get done with that, it's easy. Baby step 1 is save $1,000. Put that away, do not touch it. That's a rainy day fund type thing. And then step 2 is when everything takes a while. It's getting rid of all your debt, your credit cards, anything looming over you that has interest whatsoever. So it really makes you take a different look at finances than what we've been taught by our parents, what we haven't been taught in school, because we're not really taught a lot in school. And I was just like, you think from your friends, how your friends are doing their finances, even business partners, how they're doing their finance. Everybody talks finances. They're like, oh, I did this, I did that, and so you kind of just do things that way. And so it's kind of a different approach, and we needed to do it because we had just had our 3rd kid, and a couple doctor bills came due that we weren't expecting, and we were like, okay, this is going to push us to our limit. So we started to try to implement it for like 3 or 4 months. After that, thinking we could do it ourselves, and then we really signed up for a course that was on location. It was 10 Saturdays in a row at Green Valley Christian Academy, which was kind of a drive for us, but it was the soonest and closest one, and we were...
So it's an in-person.
So that one is. They do have some options online that you can do at your pace, or that you can do it, somebody will do it, like teach it online. You know, everything's kind of moved to online.
And a lot of churches do it. I think I think Hope Church has done it, or was getting ready to do it.
Yeah.
At some point.
They've done it.
The Dave Ramsey one, though, or a separate
Yeah, the
one?
financial piece one.
It's Dave, yeah.
I want the date on that.
Huh?
I want the date for that.
Yeah, I mean, I remember Scott talking about it, but I don't know if it's already happened or if it was going to be sometime in 2024 or 2025. I don't know. Do you remember him talking about it at some point?
So, yeah, I've heard him talk about that one, and we were trying to go to one at Hope, too, but we had just missed it.
And
And
so it's already happened then.
Well, the one that we did was 2 years ago.
Okay.
So I know that they had talked about having some more. But I think they're all kind of like individually run. So it's like whoever's accredited through the Dave Ramsey organization picks different locations to do in person or online. So it all kind of works out that way. So, but yeah, I know some people had taken it from certain people for what people. Mentors for a while, but then they kind of step back, and I think they're doing some traveling. So it just depends on, you know, who's closest to you that's putting on a class. So, but there's a lot of options, and really until we got our hands into the class and actually took the Financial Peace University, instead of just using the Dave Ramsey tools, sitting down and really going in depth, that's when we changed our habits and our lifestyle ultimately.
So Tammy and I have taken the class before, long time ago. Never got completely financially free because there's certain things we didn't stick to. That's why when you said you wanted to talk about it, I was like, that's great, because hopefully you have some things that I didn't do. Like, so they have this envelope, you know, which seems pretty easy. The toughest part is putting your receipts in these envelopes, you know, when you take the money out. Let's say you take $100 out for groceries and it comes to $80, you're supposed to put the receipt and the 20 back.
Right.
But you end up not putting the 20 back, and you might forget to put the receipt in there. And so it was hard to really calculate where you're spending your money, especially if you're not going through your checkbook. That's what I found. If you don't take your checkbook, say from, you know, August 1st to August 31st, you know, and actually write down everything that you did, because you can have a budget all day long.
So what year
So
was
how
this?
did you? We probably took it 10 years ago.
Okay, so they have a new app now.
I was going to say.
So you can plug your bank account into the app. It's called Every Dollar. You plug your bank account, and then your banks, and you know, when your debit cards and all your spending. And then when it comes out, basically you just say, okay, this was categorized as this. This is how much I budgeted. This goes into this category. So we got, you know, food, gas, you know, mortgage, bills, what income's coming in. And then it just tracks it all for you in the app. And you can see in real time, because all those transactions are coming through your bank.
Yeah.
So like they show up a day later, 2 days later. But every single week I go in twice a week, and I just go boop, 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 and I just categorize them, and I make noises like that. It helps me.
Now, how safe
So
is
they
it,
don't do
though?
the envelopes then? Or is it
So
still
you
part
can
of it?
do the envelope if you want, but no, it's everything's on the
Okay.
Every Dollar app.
But
now.
how safe is it, though? Because there's a lot of guys like me who don't
Right.
do online stuff.
Oh, okay. So you're cash
This
only?
guy has a podcast
So-
and
Yeah.
he doesn't even have. He doesn't have
Like, I
Instagram
don't pay my
or.
bills online.
So he
nothing
doesn't
like
promote
that.
his own thing.
So you do cash and check? Is that what you do?
Yeah, and debit card, but I'm saying like.
Oh, well, I mean, if you do debit
Do
card.
you even balance a checkbook?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I do have the app for the bank,
Right.
and that's how I do it. I list all the stuff, you know, entertainment, bills.
Yeah.
and then
You actually list
utilities.
them, huh?
On a piece of paper so I can show
Oh.
my wife.
Wife.
And then at the end, you know, it's like he said, it's uncomfortable, like trying to show that to some other people that don't really know you. you know, but they're there to help you. It's just kind of like you feel a little bit embarrassed, kind of.
Yeah, but see, that was the thing about the class in person that kind of made it more relatable. Is everybody's in the same boat, right? So we're all trying to get better together.
Sure.
And so somebody might have a story, and you're like, "Whoa, that's crazy!" And then if somebody has a story, "Oh, that's crazy," and you have your own story, and you all just kind of, you know, build off of that. You know, it's like, okay, we all messed up, and the mentors, they were in the same spot you were, so they can tell you their stories.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you build that rapport that way based off of the, you know, silly things that you've done with your money over the years and bonehead choices, you know.
So it was once a week for 10 weeks.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, is there a cost to this? Or?
So for some reason, I don't think we paid for that particularly, but when you do pay, it's like $79 or $99, and it comes with some tools. And then if you want the Every Dollar app, I think we pay like $10 or $15 a month for that.
For that?
Yeah.
Wow, they charge you monthly for that app.
Yeah. And I didn't like that at first because I'm like, I'm trying to save money and you're charging me more.
Yeah, like,
But-
come on, Dave.
but
Like,
it
you
helped
make all this money. It can't be a free app?
Isn't Dave
'Cause
like a multi-millionaire?
Because I was just going to ask you, like,
Yeah.
can you get the app without taking the class? Since I've already taken it, can I just get the app and start over with the app? Is what I'm thinking.
Well, it was funny. We were in there, and there was a couple that were about our age, and they were doing it for the second time because they said like they got debt free, and then they started making bad decisions again, and so they were like, okay, how do we fix this again? And they went and took the course in person again. So I still recommend, if you don't have time to go in person, they have plenty of options, like I said, to do it online.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
But if you do it online, I feel you're not going to put everything into it as opposed to when you're there in person.
Yeah, and I'm glad I went in person because, like I said, building those relationships with those people, like the mentors that taught us the class, they're the Kinneys. We just had dinner with them the other night.
Oh, nice.
And we showed them, you know, we're close to paying off $50,000 on our $75,000 worth of debt, and we showed them in the Every Dollar app, and they like hearing those stories, and they're like telling me like, you need to go tell your story because more people, this will change people's lives.
Yeah.
You know, just knowing that it's possible. I wish I had just known it was possible. Like, I didn't even hear of Dave Ramsey until 2 years ago.
Really? He's been around.
Yeah.
Like, you need to call in.
Yeah.
He does the phone calls.
Yeah,
people are like, hey.
we're waiting until we're paid off, and we want to do that. That's kind of on our bucket list of things to do.
Yeah.
You want to call in?
Yeah, you can
Yeah,
call
he-
into the show.
Yeah,
I
people
seen
call
him.
in, and
I seen him on TV. Yeah.
so you had this 75,000 that you're trying to pay off
Total debt.
total. So this is not counting a house,
It's not counting the house. It's-
everything but
Yeah.
house,
correct.
and your normal regular bills that you can't pay off. They're just everyday, like PG&E, all that
Well,
stuff.
that's not
Yeah.
debt, though.
Yeah, right. I mean, it is still debt,
No,
but
it's
it's
not.
just. How is that not debt?
How is power and water and
It's still a
gas
bill.
debt?
That's a debt.
It's a utility.
It's a
not
bill.
debt.
If you have a bill,
Utility.
that's debt.
It's a utility.
Plain and simple.
All right, turn the water off.
Or the AC.
Yes, electricity. Live in a
Just
tent.
FYI,
Not-
my upstairs AC's off right now.
Not in
So we're
Vegas.
cooking. Thank gosh it's only, 90 degrees right now. But
Yeah,
It's
it's not too
going to
bad.
go back to 105 this week, though.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
So you started where you wanted 75,000 paid off, and you've done 50.
Yeah, we're almost at 50.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
And
now,
that in
what's
how
the
many
time
months?
Frame, though?
Yeah.
That's been about 19 or 20 months.
Nice.
Yeah.
And what did you have a goal? Is that like, are you chugging along thinking, okay, this is kind of what
We
were
did,
thinking?
and then my wife got pregnant, and so we're kind of in. They have this thing. They have a saying, or
That's the emergency fund right there, right?
well, they call it stork mode. So it's like you're not paying off and increasing your snowball. You're basically holding on to that money. Wait till the baby's born. Buy everything you need, and then whatever you have left over, boom, you put it on the debt. So you're only holding on to it temporarily.
Okay.
Babies are expensive, though.
Yeah.
I learned that the first time.
Now, of the three, how many are yours?
2.
Two of them.
Yeah.
And then the one is hers. Is that the oldest, the 20-year-old?
No, she's 14.
14 is hers?
Yeah.
And then you have the 20 and the 2.5.
2.5.
Got it.
Yeah. So there's a little bit of a gap there.
Yeah. That's awesome, though.
Yeah.
Because big brother, big sister.
Yeah, and it's also good for birth control. So they're already babying set at a 2.5. They're like, okay, so if I get pregnant, this is what I'm gonna have to do every day.
Now, is the baby in the terrible twos?
Yeah, she's a little feisty.
Is she?
She's a little aggressive. She's not terrible though, I wouldn't say. She's like, she has the cutesy kind of attitude that kind of makes it like adorable.
Yeah. Hard to say no to.
But yeah, she's daddy's girl.
Whenever dad says no, she stops playing around.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's pretty good.
So you're not the one that lets her get away with everything.
That's the mom. Yeah, my wife. She's like, come here. Oh, you're hurt. And I'm like, let her rub it off. Go get some dirt, rub it on it. But
that's crazy.
It is.
Yeah.
So now that you almost have the 50, and you got this stork thing, right? You called it.
What is that though? Like
they call it stork mode. So it's just like you're holding on to the money that you would be paying towards your snowball, which is every time you're paying off debt, you're increasing your payments because it's like, okay, more debt's paid off, so now I can make more of a payment.
Oh, gotcha.
That's why you got to stick to the budget.
So do you want to? I know, but for the audience, if they don't know how the snowball works.
Mm-hmm.
I think they might be able to figure it out, but maybe not. But you start with a bill, and tell them what bill would you normally start with first, and then.
So you have different types of debt, right?
Correct.
We're gonna get the mortgage out.
No, it's not the mortgage.
But I'm saying you're gonna get it out. We're not gonna include the mortgage in this debt scenario.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have the biggest one first, is what usually most people have, a car. Right? Most people have a debt for a car. Then the second biggest thing they have is school loans if they went to college.
Correct.
Right? And then the third one would be credit cards.
Credit cards,
right?
yeah.
And then
personal.
the last one would be the little stuff like gas card.
Yeah.
So the snowball would be.
That would be the whole snowball. So the way that you approach it, the Dave Ramsey method, which kind of goes against a lot of things that people do out there, is most people would go after the highest interest, no matter what it is. Highest interest.
That's me.
Okay. So his method's different. He says go after the smallest debt, even if it's the lowest interest, because you're starting to build wins. And they compound on each other. And just knowing, so let's just say your three smallest things were credit cards, right, for $500 a pop.
Yeah.
You getting those 3 wins consecutively that quick, and even though it's not building big into your snowball, but eliminating that is it just motivates people quicker, and it helps you stay on track.
Well, yeah, it's like a victory, right?
Winning. I win here and I win there.
Yeah.
Like you win when you.
Oh, it's totally a
destroy
victory.
them.
When we totally paid off, I think I had 5 or 6 and she had 3 or 4 credit cards. We like cut them up and, celebrated.
Nice.
Like we're out of credit card debt. Yeah, we got some other debt, but that.
But no credit card, highest
Right.
interest too.
Yeah.
So let's say you had, your 5, her 3. You took, out of those 8 cards, whichever one was the lowest balance.
The lowest balance.
So let's say $1,000.
Okay.
And the highest one was 8,000, and then a bunch in between. You start, just so they kind of understand, you start with the 1,000, and you're doing the minimum payment on all the others, right?
Correct.
And on this one, you're making a minimum payment, but at some point you're trying to add an extra payment of some sort. Right. So whatever, let's say the monthly payment is 100, you're trying to do 200 to pay that
whatever you
$1,000
can.
off.
So you just you try to get your budget and your expenses down as low as you can, and then you take whatever money you're saving on that and only paying the minimums on all your other credit cards, and you're putting it on that. So
and as soon as that thousands, say the first card was 1,000, it's paid off. Whatever, let's say you were paying 300 to it each month. Now you take that 300 and you put
roll
it
it
to the
over.
next card that's at $2,000, and you start putting that 300 to that plus the minimum payment, till you get it paid off, and then you go to the next one.
Yeah, that's the snowball. So yeah, you described it perfectly.
And would you? So the toughest thing when we were doing it is, again, we write budgets every year. We write a budget, but what I think we don't do good enough. My wife's like, do not make me, she didn't want me to anyhow, I probably said too much, right? But so I'll just take the blame. But we don't look at every bill or everything that comes out of the checkbook. So we might think that we are spending, say, $600 a month on groceries, but because I never look at every line item and add it up, I just know at the end of the month, she says we're supposed to have, say, $2,000 every month. We're not even close to that. So at some point in that month, we're spending more than we should in the budget. So how do you get someone so that app is probably the way?
The app is really your best option for that. But once you itemize everything and you look at it hard, like core, and you're like, this is how much it is, and you're able to say, like, I spent this much on groceries, I spent this much on restaurants, and you see that number, and you're like, wow, we could have paid this much more on this credit card or this debt. You get focused real quick. So just looking at it all the way down to the bottom line will get you headed in the right direction, because you'll say, wow, we thought we spent $200 on restaurants, but we spent $350.
Yeah.
So what would you call Starbucks? What would that fall under?
That would either go under, if we did it as a family, that would go under maybe a restaurant expense. But if it's just me going to Starbucks, then it has to go under my personal allowance. Yeah.
Because I just texted Tammy today and said, 9 times in 6 days, Starbucks. She's like, I know. Like, those are all hers.
Yeah, and that's $50 at least.
Because mine is 31 in 31 days.
For you or for your wife?
Her. I don't drink coffee.
I don't either, and she's not drinking coffee. This is like tea or whatever.
But see,
it's
analyze
$7-8 a pop.
Exactly. See, analyzing it like that, then you're like, okay, you spent $100 a month. She did that in 2 weeks. You spent $100 a month. That means that your budget for the year should be $1,200 for tea and coffee.
For coffee. Wow.
Convenient. Like, that's the convenience
factor. Yeah. No. Crazy.
It amazes me, because I don't smoke, I don't drink coffee. I drink, but occasionally, parties or whatever. And I'm like, at the end, like he says, you're like, okay, there should be $2,000. Then you look at it, you're like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
So
you guys have too big of a family. You're buying too many birthday gifts.
And that's what I told her this last month. I was like, yo, babe, come on.
That goes in the budget. So we budget every month. We know when everybody's birthday is, so we know each month whose birthdays are coming up, and we allot a certain amount of money to their birthday, and that's it.
Presents, yeah.
And so we're not like, oh, I bought that I can buy her this. It's like, no, your budget's $50 or $100 per birthday.
So you said you did this 2 years ago, right?
The
So that
class.
was like during COVID a little bit, and it was during this Biden administration. So just think how much more you would have paid off if you were in the Trump administration when you were doing this.
Are we gonna
Inflation's
get into
scary.
Bidenomics?
No,
That's Bidenomics.
we're not.
Bidenomics.
But I'm just saying, like, right? Would you agree that you would have, because gas was $2 a gallon less,
Milk was cheap.
so you would have
Food was
probably
cheap.
paid off even. You would have got that $75,000 paid off.
That's why he says you got to budget every year, because it changes every year.
Exactly.
Interest
That's a
rates
really good point.
Yeah.
Inflation. You should be
Yeah,
budgeting.
so come November 7th, this next year you might be budgeting a lot more.
Well, I'm already screwed because RFK is out.
Oh.
RFK is out, so. Now, you were saying when you look at your budget, how many months back do you go so you can get a clear idea of how much you're spending? 3 months, 2 months, 1 month? Can you just do it off of the last month?
Every month is honestly different.
I think he was meaning when you first started.
Yeah.
Did you
Like
go
to
back
gauge-
like a
to
certain amount of
gauge?
months, or you just said
Yeah.
we're
The
starting
first-
day one and
The first thing you got to do is get your finances. Well, when you're married, you get your finances dialed into one bank account. So we had to move all of our money and subscriptions, which it seems daunting when you first look at it. You're like, I got to move this. I got to go in and spend this much time to figure out how to move this.
what do you mean subscription? Oh, like
So,
if
like,
she
Like
had
Netflix, yeah. So you really try to
Yeah,
eliminate.
you guys
First-
weren't on one. From
Not
being
before they
married?
got married.
Yeah, no,
Oh.
yeah. We started to do it when after we got married. We started
Gotcha.
to move everything. So it was like we were on this trajectory to finally get to going to the Dave Ramsey Financial Peace University. We were already starting to take a hard look at our
Gotcha.
finances.
Okay.
But yeah, that's part of the process. So there is a process, and you have to be prepared for it. Otherwise, you're going to say, I don't have time for that. It's like, you don't have time to get rid of debt, then I don't know if you're
Yeah,
spending your time. I don't know
Wisely.
if you're right.
And does he, for people that tithe or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
does he have? Because I don't know if he's a Christian guy or not, to be honest.
He is, yeah.
Dean Ramsey is.
I thought he was,
Yeah.
but so does he do that money where you're tithing 10%, 10% you're throwing away?
That's in your
and
budget.
80 or whatever.
That's in your budget, and you do that at the beginning of the month versus the end of the month like we used to do. So that's one of the newer
You
habits.
tithe first.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, as soon as,
Because then you make excuses.
Yeah.
Oh, there's not enough in there. I'll just
Exactly. And what we did is we moved some items that we were paying at the beginning of the month. You just call and you say, hey, can you move this to the end of the month for me?
Payment date. Yep.
Yeah, and that's all you got to do. So, you get your checks in your thing to line up so that you're not over budgeting some weeks than other weeks in the month, but you have enough money for the things that you need to have enough money for first.
Yeah.
And being a good steward, he teaches good stewardship, and being a good steward includes tithing, generosity. What are you doing with your money?
Because that's
Because you'll
separate
be
from
blessed
tithing.
in the long
The
run.
generosity is separate from tithing because
Yeah.
he used to get it confused.
I call it all tithing.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's
my
generosity
wife has
and
another name for it. Generosity.
So does Pastor Ed.
Yeah, so does Pastor Ed Harris.
Yeah.
Ed Harris.
Not Ed
No,
Harris.
that's an actor.
Hager.
Yeah. I don't know how I said that, but so besides the app, which is extra, I can't believe. The other materials they give you, is it like a budget book where you can handwrite in it, so you can kind of keep
They
track
have worksheets.
If
Yeah,
you
they have
didn't want to do the app.
No, they have worksheets where you can kind of analyze everything, and then there's two different models. You can either go for the app, or you can do the thing with the receipts and the envelopes and do
Okay.
cash. Because, Dave Ramsey first started with the cash. He's like, you need to feel how much money is leaving your hand to know how much you're spending, and that will help you also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll help you realize.
But you can't. A lot of places aren't taking cash anymore.
Yeah, it's hard.
It's pretty.
Yeah.
Someone just said at church they went. I think it was Ed Hager. Tried to buy a book with cash or something. They wouldn't take his cash. I mean, I don't think they should. I don't think a business should be allowed to deny you cash. I would be like, okay, then I'm not buying the book or buy whatever. And
It's legal
walk
tender.
away.
I don't know if they really can.
Well, they are. I went to try to pay cash the other day at something. They're like, oh, we don't take, and then of course all these stadiums and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, you know that ahead of time when you get there, but still,
Yeah.
some of these, like the other day, I literally went to pay something. They're like, oh, we don't take cash. I'm like, well, I should have said, well, I don't have a card.
Yeah.
Like, what about if you don't have a card? Like if you're doing Dave Ramsey and you don't
They
have
probably have
a card.
They probably
Debit-
have a gift
debit
card
card.
machine that you just go in the lobby and you put your cash into, and then they give you a gift
that would
card.
be. Yeah.
No, I think they had those at
Here, let me play
T-Mobile.
with my crypto.
T-Mobile, I think they have them at T-Mobile.
Really?
I think so.
You can put your cash in and it gives
In
you
a
a
card
card.
and
It's
then
a
go
gift
pay?
card only for their concessions.
Wow.
Wow.
What is this? World
You're probably
coming to?
you're paying a fee probably for that card.
see,
Probably.
My problem with all that is, remember what was it a month ago when the whole computer system crashed? People were stuck at airports, hospitals had to be shut down. I'm like, so if you're expecting everything to be electronic
Yeah.
and you let go of the paper cash, what's going to happen
Yeah.
if they can't get it back up? You know, it's like just like digital coin, whatever, Bitcoin or whatever else you want to get. Like they shut it down, then what? There's your $80,000 stuck. How you gonna get it out? So I mean, I followed my dad's rule. You always have cash at home. You better not know my address.
We'll post it.
It's not under your bed.
No, it's not under my bed, that's for sure. We got a safe. But anyways, you know, I always have that for, you know, doomsday scenarios. You know, you got to have a little bit of cash because when the world goes to poop,
Yeah.
you know, coin is going to be actually the better thing, like gold. You know, that's going to be something that you can actually exchange because someday it's going to go back to, you know, say doomsday. Let's just say doomsday.
Bartering and stuff,
Exactly.
yeah.
You know, nobody's going to want your paper money, but if you got silver, if you got copper,
Oh, it's going to be worthless.
yeah,
That's not going to buy you a meal.
nothing, yeah. But gold,
Yeah.
I mean, eventually it's going to get back to.
Yeah, but these are all just financial habits. We started to notice how many financial habits that we were doing every day in our financial, you know, spending money and stuff. How much of those were kind of backwards?
What do you mean?
Just like, you know, how do you spend and track money? You know, just doing those things were, oh, we just wait for the statement to come in the mail.
Oh.
You know, and we weren't looking at it. So like I said, it just goes back to taking a look at your bottom line, and then there's a few habits that you can just start utilizing that most people don't. You know, whether it's the receipt and the envelope, or it's the app tracking everything, itemizing it, putting it into the bucket that it goes into.
So like my head for some reason is picturing like a little, you know how you put the envelopes or whatever. So you guys used to have an envelope,
That's how they used to do
a
it.
little
yeah.
rack full of envelopes full of
Yeah,
money.
they were colored, and then you like green, red, like part of it would be red, green, blue.
Really?
And then
So this
you know,
money would just be on your counter like
no, it'd be in my safe. It was
Okay.
in my safe. And then we had on there written, you know, food, gas, entertainment. It was just those type, you know, gifts. And then, you know, when you say, hey, I need to fuel up, you would pull out what you thought it would. But now you can't even pay at Costco with cash. So, so sometimes I'm like using the card, and then I got to take that money and go put it into the checking. It got to be, the app obviously sounds like
What
that's
helps
the
that,
way
yeah.
to go. I know the envelope for thousands of people it worked, but again, the app, it'd be interesting to see if he has, if the clients do better on the app than they did back in the day.
I would say yeah, because like you just said, they don't even, it's all digital now.
Yeah.
So they don't even take cash at Sam's Club or Costco. But yeah, I know it's like, oh, I got to pay $15 a month for this, but just get it with the thought, hey, I could get rid of this in 1 month. There's no contract.
Right.
You can get it for 1 month or 2 months. If it doesn't end up working out for you, then maybe, you know, trying something different would help.
So Jerry will have the, is there, like, are you teaching any of this stuff?
No,
or-
not yet. Me
Okay.
and my wife we're kind of looking into the mentor thing, but we figure our story will be a little bit better once we're out of debt.
Sure.
So
But if people are interested in the Dave Ramsey, hopefully Jerry can
yeah, there's a link I gave him.
post the link, and maybe there will be one coming up the end of 2024 or the start of 2025. Like I said, I know Hope Church either was going to do it recently or they're going to do it, or he mentioned it and they might have been doing it somewhere else. But so anyhow, if you're interested in that, by all means, check it out. And
Let's find out about that too. Let them know. See if they are going to have it at
Yeah,
home.
yeah.
'Cause I'd
Oh,
be
that
interested.
would, yeah.
I'd be
If we could
interested.
find that information and
Yeah.
put that on
Yeah,
there, that'd
yeah.
be good.
Yeah. And then so now it's story time.
Story time.
Nice. Love story time.
So
You're a Las Vegas boy then, huh?
Yeah, well, I moved here when I was 13 in
You're a Las Vegas
so he's
97.
not
Yeah.
not born
I
and
think
raised.
10 years you're a native, right?
Now, did you come from California, the Midwest, East Coast?
Colorado. But I
What's
moved
that?
around a
That's
little bit.
Midwest, right?
Yeah, I moved around. I lived in Texas all the way up to Montana.
Cowboys
What-
fan?
I was for the 9 months I lived.
While you were there?
Yeah. But no, I'm not anymore.
Not
I'm
anymore.
a Broncos fan. You know,
Oh,
I'm from
nice.
So is
Colorado.
my oldest son. But what town in Colorado?
I was born in Durango.
Hey, I went to Grand Junction High School in
Okay.
my freshman year.
The same doctor who delivered me delivered my dad
No.
20 years previous. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's a small town.
It's very
Oh,
small
very
town.
small.
It's like a ski town.
Durango?
Yeah.
Well, you know, that's where my family's from in Mexico.
Oh, really?
Durango.
Okay. Well, a lot of my family's from New Mexico, which
Oh,
is
nice.
right across. It's
Yeah.
literally like 45 minutes away
Yeah.
in a small town called Farmington.
You know, I think I've actually heard of that.
Yeah.
My wife has family over there in New
Yeah.
Mexico.
Yeah, I think it's like a 2-hour drive or less from Durango.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know there was a town in the U.S. called Durango.
Oh, you didn't?
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I
And there's
saw-
Durango High School
yeah,
down the street.
and Durango here, the casino.
Oh, that's right. They did put that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so you're gonna
Story.
tell us this story,
Okay.
and
Should I go with the bad boy story first or the
No.
good boy story
We'll say
first?
that one
No,
for the
I don't
second
know.
one.
You give whatever story you want.
No, let him do the bad boy second.
Okay.
And this one for the.
Okay.
Wait, no, yeah, it's up to you.
We just need one right now. Jerry's gonna be like, "We're over.
Dude,
We're at
thinking
40
opposite,
minutes.
Like,
Yeah.
We're at 40
let's
minutes.
do the bad boy one so that you can redeem yourself with the second one.
That's what I was thinking. Okay, we'll do that. We'll do that. So, when I was 16, I just got my license, and I was saving up over both 2 summers leading up to it in high school to buy a truck or buy a vehicle. It ended up being a truck. And my buddy, we started going to football camp for our sophomore year. He lived down the street. His name was Chad also. He got a truck. It was a Chevy. Mine was a Chevy, but mine was a 64. His was like a 80 or 90.
64.
Yeah, I had a 64 Chevy. It was a 400 small block. Well, it was a 350 small block bored out to a 400. So it was fast.
Yes.
And so, anyways, we used to have fun, and there was not as much of a cop presence in North Las Vegas back then. So, I mean, literally up by Lone Mountain, it was just a barren desert.
Yeah.
And they started, I think they started building the 215 around that time, I want to say. Or there was some part of it that would connect. I don't know if it was fully through over there, but anyways, we used to go all the way to the top of Cheyenne West, up by the 215, and there was nobody up there. I think the developments were just starting to get built.
Yeah.
And anyways, I don't know if you've been to the top of Cheyenne, but it's a straight shot down. Like, I don't even know what the degree, 45 angles, like 45 degree angle, like just straight down. And so we'd go to the top and we'd shoot down it. Usually at night. This time it happened to be during the day. And we were racing down, and
So it's both of you in separate trucks.
separate trucks going down. Yeah, and we were racing down. There's nobody up there.
Yeah.
I mean, and on one side of the street, there's no cars turning in. So it's really kind of only traffic's going to come from one side, and you're going to see it ahead of time. So it kind of eliminated a lot of things. Not saying to do it, but we were racing down.
I think that's what you were trying to
We
get
were
at.
racing down, and we didn't know this, but they were putting in a patrol office up there. And so we raced right by it. And
Oh, you're talking about the station.
yeah, the station,
Yeah.
patrol station.
Yeah.
And we got lit up. I looked back, I guess a hair later than we got lit up because he was already pulling over. And I was just like, you know, I'm 16, I'm scared. I'm like, oh, he's going to get in big trouble. So I just kept going.
You gunned it.
No, I just kept going, and I called him. I was like, hey, tell him I'll come back if he wants. And the officers didn't believe. He's like, yeah, I'm just going to come to your house. So I waited outside, and I was expecting him to come, and it was like an hour. Okay, how long is he? I went down to my friend's house, and I came back. I told my mom, I was like, a police officer might come to my house right now. I went to his house because he only lives 6 houses down the street.
Yeah.
And he wasn't home yet. And I'm like, okay, so am I waiting, or is he going to jail?
Is he in jail?
He got a ticket, but he didn't lose his license or anything. He probably knocked it down and just realized it was kids, you know. Because I talked to him on the phone. But
The police or
the
the-
police officer, yeah.
And so he said he wasn't going to.
He said he was coming, but he never came.
So you never got a ticket.
No, but my friend said, "Oh, he's still coming here." he said he's still coming to your house, and this was like a day or two later, and he was in big trouble with his dad. I think he got his keys
I was
taken
gonna say,
away
did
for a
he
couple
lose the
weeks.
truck?
Yeah, I think he even put a governor on his truck so he couldn't.
No.
do it. Yeah.
Wow.
That's
So-
a little extreme.
That's a
That
good
sounds like
dad,
something
though.
I
That's a
would
good
do, I
dad.
guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, dude, if you're going that, I know what he's talking about. You go down there and you're pressing the gas plus
So how fast were you going?
100 plus, easy.
Yeah.
64.
I think mine topped out at just it topped out at like 1 or 120, but you're going downhill, and
Yeah.
this truck is heavy. It's
Yeah,
a 64
that's what I'm
Chevy.
saying,
So.
that-
Wow.
You're going faster than what the if they got you with the
radar, yeah.
radar gun.
Yeah.
He's going faster than that because the radar gun only gets to a certain point or whatever. But he's talking about like what is it when you're going down?
The momentum.
Yeah, the momentum.
Mm-hmm.
That just and 64. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I
Well,
wish I
glad you
would've-
didn't get a ticket. So
I know.
No,
I
he should have
deserve
got
one.
a ticket,
I
so he should
deserve
have learned
one.
his lesson.
yeah, but I think he did because of his buddy. Through his
Now-
buddy, he learned.
Now,
his
were you a
lesson.
believer at that time?
Yeah.
You were.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I was willing to take a ticket or whatever. I deserved it, but
Yeah.
I'm just glad I didn't.
All right. Well,
That's awesome story.
we appreciate you coming on, and we're going to be doing a second episode with you.
Mm-hmm.
And but yeah, anyone interested in the financial piece, and if
Gotta
you know
check it
Chad from church, reach out to him, talk to him more in person about the class, and he'll
Convince
go
him
more
to
in
be a
detail.
mentor. We need him.
Yeah. So,
50,000 in 20 months. Wow.
but again, thank you, and make sure to subscribe, like, share, watch.
Watch.
And until next episode, peace out.
Peace. Have a good week.